Greetings, and thanks for tuning in to another awful movie review.
Who are you?
While the slasher genre definitely dominated the horror landscape throughout the 1980s, there were still some very good other horror and science fiction films, which helped redefine the genre in a decade so crucial to pop culture. And Roger Corman's Galaxy of Terror, well, kind of fits that category, but also does not.
Yeah, I suppose.
We have a strange case on our hands, and I'm here to unravel the mystery. But if there's one thing which isn't one bit of a mystery to me, it's that this film is 82 minutes of pure nonsense. Believe that.
Wonderful, just what we need.
But just before we put on our spacesuits and grab our laser guns, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment for another idea of a bad movie series. And if you value what I do and you want to help support me, please check out my Patreon in the description below, as well as this week's sponsor.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture.
Since the heart has a yearning for the unknown, if you're interested in unanswered stories of UFOs visiting Earth, bone-chilling evidence of paranormal activity, or some of the most famous murder cases gone cold, then head over to the podcast Weird Darkness, sponsoring this video. You'll find all sorts of ghoulish, blood-curdling, and most of all fascinating stories of the macabre, 7 days a week. You can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or go directly to their website using the description down below. So set in a dystopian future, some old hag and this guy with an aura around his face are playing chess. This is the Master of the Universe, as he's called, and he sends over a team of space cadets onto a distant planet to find out what happened to the previous team, which were on a mission but never returned. Really doesn't sound good.
It's good to know we're in safe hands.
Off goes the space crew as they crash land on a dark and desolate planet, where all they find remaining of the last expedition are a bunch of dead bodies. Good idea, just go ahead and burn all the evidence. That makes a lot of sense. Watching this flick, I told myself this was seriously influenced by Ridley Scott's Alien, released a couple years before. I can also see a bit of Forbidden Planet, and even like a little touch of Planet of the Vampires.
How do you know that?
For a low-budget movie, the grungy, cyberpunk-fueled sets look pretty impressive, and without a surprise, I learned that none other than James Cameron, who worked as production designer for this film, would be inspired by the movie's aesthetic when he directed Aliens. Event Horizon is another horror sci-fi which takes its inspiration from this cheesy Corman pick. I didn't see that one coming, especially since the movies I just mentioned all surpass Galaxy of Terror by a milestone. Yeah, apart from a few impressive sets, this doesn't have much going for it.
There has hardly been a beginning.
The cast is pretty boring, horribly generic, and personality-free. When one of them dies after being separated from the group, because yes, that's how it happens every single time, the others just seem to brush it off like it's no big deal. There's no emotion. Some of the dialogue is also stiff and unbelievably bad.
I'm tired. I'm tired of giving orders, and I much prefer home.
You're not old, Commander.
No, when I'm looking at you, I'm not.
You know what they say, Cook. The master sends meat, but the devil sends cooks.
It is worthy of noting that both Sid Haig from The House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects, and Robert Englund, who's most iconic for playing Freddy Krueger, are both in this. But Sid Haig's character doesn't get a lot of lines, and they decided to make him act like a real weirdo.
I live and I die by the crystals.
Okay dude, sure. I will say the best performance here goes to Robert Englund. Sure, he's not worthy of an Oscar, but I genuinely thought he was the best thing about this farce of a film.
This is God.
I don't know, maybe it's because I see a Nightmare on Elm Street every time I look at him.
I don't trust him. Why not?
A good portion of the runtime is the crew just wandering around in dark rooms and exploring this weird planet.
I keep seeing something, and then nothing.
It doesn't build any momentum, and it doesn't help that the unbelievably wacky and grotesque monsters you see on the poster barely ever show up in the actual movie. Seriously, that was a big letdown for me.
I hate this place. I hate it. I hate it!
And the little bits you do see. For a movie released in 1981, the stop motion looks rather clunky, like something straight out of a 50s sci-fi film, except that it's 30 years late.
That's very good, Captain.
This is notorious for having a scene where a crew member is literally fucked to death by a giant maggot.
What?
Yeah, you heard me right. Why did the writers think they needed to put that in the script?
What a magnificent piece of work.
I mean, it's horrible enough to be eaten alive by a giant, disgusting maggot, but they felt the need to have it hump her first. I just don't get it. The grand finale is also pretty crappy if you ask me. In the end, this whole expedition was a training test for the space crew to see if they could fight off their own fears, which somehow materialized in the form of monsters and other weird killer things. It ends on a pretty head-scratching note. I didn't know what to make of this reveal, except that it's pretty stupid.
I feel absolutely nothing at all. I've never felt anything so empty.
I had to go on the internet to find out what this was all about. Overall, Galaxy of Terror may have inspired many sci-fi horror classics to come, but on its own, this is a pretty weak movie. The film did dabble into some interesting ideas, but it winds up turning into a slow, sluggish cheese fest. And again, that ending, what the hell? And maybe, just maybe, I may add, what an awful movie.